So I was just asked a little bit about tips on how to help create boundaries for our counseling group because they do get pulled into doing so many different things by the administration team. And for me, it's really about that relationship. To start with, you start to see what impact all of these things take and the toll it takes on people. So, for me, it was pretty easy because I valued the individuals in my building. I wanted them to be um, able to do their job, enjoy their job. So when it comes down to, look, there's certain things that administrators needed to do. Anytime it dealt with discipline, hey, that's an administrator, and you shouldn't feel bad about it because as an administrator, I hold that ability to give out all types of consequences, if you will, whereas somebody that's a counselor does not. When you see things between kids get into it, and I still remember these conversations. Look, as a counselor, when it gets to the level where you've dealt with these kids a couple times, get it off your plate. And that's where I say it goes right up to admin because again, I can do things. And as I always said, I'm the administrator. I'm not a counselor. The counselor is the most loving person on the planet. Okay. Not that I'm not a loving person, but at the same time, I'm going to have a different discussion with kids and not so much mediate. I'm going to sit there and say, this is how it's going to be. And I don't want my counselors to sound like that. And so I think that's a tip is look, I want the counselors to be those caring people. And I just got to make sure it doesn't become detrimental to them or, to their goal. And so that's where I would use some of the things that a counselor, look, it's getting to the point where we're having some conversations of parents calling me about a teacher. Hey, that should go right to the administrator. I think a lot of times that parents do that is because they don't want the answer that an administrator is going to give them. But in the end, what an administrator, especially principal, is able to do is I get to put in exactly how people have to operate. And if the parent doesn't like it, then they can go to my boss and so on and so forth. And so for me, the tips are finding out those areas where, as a counselor, you feel uncomfortable dealing with, or maybe you don't have the authority. If you start thinking that way, hey, that really should be an administrator that's handling that. As far as how the administrator is going to be dealing with it, I know that they are busy, but in the end, you're going to save time. You're going to get things done correctly, and it's just going to run a tighter ship in your school. So those are just a couple of ideas. And again, bring back everything to academics, okay? But as a counselor, you guys get inundated with so many things to do. Some of this stuff really doesn't belong there. It belongs to administrator, and that will help you feel happier, and it will keep you healthier, and it will be best for the school in the end.